So over the past couple of years, I've gathered quite a lot of jewellery, and if you're anything like me and you also have quite a lot of jewellery, you might run into the same problem I've had, where it seems just impossible to find jewellery hangers that are, for one, a decent price. They all seem kind of overpriced to me. Also, like, cute ones that actually look nice, and then ones that are practical. I got one, but it has spaces for earrings, but then if you hang necklaces on all the slots, then you can't hang up your earrings. So it was completely useless. And eventually I got fed up and I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna make my own. So I decided to make one with a kind of like witchy forest, like strega feel, and I decided to show you guys how I make them because they're just super handy. They cost almost nothing. I mean, I personally did it with things lying around my house. You might need to buy like one or two things, but generally it works out real cheap and you can make a ton of them with the things you buy, so it's all good. So yeah, if you want to see how I make my kind of forest witchy jewellery hangers, stay tuned and I'll show you exactly how I do it. It is so easy.
So the first thing you want to do is find yourself a stick or a couple of sticks if you want to do one with multiple layers. I'll be doing a double layered one today because the first one I ever made was single layered. And you just want to start snapping that into the shape you want. Or if you have like a really fine little saw, you could be more neat, but I like to just snap bits off until it's roughly the shape that I want. To make sure you have it hanging the right way, what you can do is balance it on your fingertips, and that way it'll automatically kind of swish around to where it will naturally lie, and then you can figure out what way you want it against the wall and what little branches you need to snap off so it will sit that way. So that is stick number one. Here is stick number two. I have a big old tree at the back of my garden, so I had sticks lying around anyway, but if you don't have that, you could just take a walk in a forest or something and find out some pretty sticks while you're there. So this is going to be my other layer, so I'm just snapping a few pieces off, and again balancing it so I can see what way it's going to hang. If you kind of balance the parts where you're going to tie up, then that is where you kind of judge what way it'll hang down on the wall. So I'm going to go for something a bit like this. Nope, like that. And then if you've decided to spray paint, then just start doing that. I just bought my spray paint on eBay, it's really easy to find. And the first one I ever made I spray painted really thoroughly, so it was just jet black. With this one I did a bit of a lighter coat, so it's still black but has a bit more of a wood grain sort of feeling coming through, and you can see just almost a little bit of the colour. It is entirely up to you, you don't even have to spray paint it, you could just leave it natural if you prefer. I just like the look of the black sticks personally. Also, for anyone who is actually good at spray painting, you will notice that my spray painting skills are atrocious. I am aware of this. The great thing with this though is it really doesn't matter if you're good at spray painting or not, just off you go, it'll be fine. And of course, little safety precaution, always spray paint, preferably outside in a very well ventilated area so that you don't die from the fumes. And this is my finished sticks. So the next thing you want to do is lay those out in front of you in the position that they're going to be when they're hung up on your wall. So I'm going to tie mine roughly like this. And then get yourself some teeny tiny little bitty nails and just start hammering those in along. Make sure you do it on the right side. That's why you want to lay your sticks out the way they're going to hang, because then you know what side to put your nails in. Obviously make sure that you leave a good amount sticking out to actually hang things from. And be careful of your wee fingers. And that is what I have. So next up I am tying it all up. I talk a little bit more about things you can use to tie it up in a moment. I've went for this kind of twiny stuff, and you just kind of decide where you want things to hang from and tie it on really tight, preferably with a double knot if you can. Really pull it to make sure it is on there. And obviously since I'm doing a double layer one, first I tie each stick to the other one. Okay, so now that I like the way that's sitting, I'm going to add another piece, and that'll be for the top to actually hang up on the wall. So I'm just kind of tying it roughly in the same place I tied it to the top twig, just to keep it sort of neat, I suppose. As neat as this project is going to be, let's face it, it's a pretty messy project. And once you have done that, then just snip off any little trail ends that you don't want, and you're done with that.
So if you're finding something to actually hang your hanger up with, there are so many different options. The first one, I used a scrap of lace. On this one, I went for like a sort of like earthy, natural looking twine type thing. I don't know what it's called, you can see it. You could also use like the likes of like leather cord, just like scrap wool, literally any sort of string-like material. Even if you've done some DIYs on clothes and cut some pieces off, just scraps of fabric that have been cut into thinner strips you could use. There's a ton of options, so again, you can probably find something lying around your house. Even an old pair of tights, if you cut it into strips, like a pair of fishnets or something, tie that around. Literally anything. Maybe just watch out for fabrics that are super stretchy, because you don't know with the weight of the jewellery how much it'll drag down. But overall, yeah, you can find tons of things to use and it makes it super easy.
So this is the finished piece with nothing on it, all hung up and ready to go. And this is the one I have in my bedroom that I made ages ago. It was the first one I made just because I desperately needed somewhere for my jewellery. So I made this little one just out of one branch, so if you don't have as much stuff, you can definitely use one. I've used these little side twigs for earrings, bracelets, little chokers and stuff, and then the nails for my actual long necklaces.
And this is it finished with some stuff hanging on it, so I'll give you a quick little look. So I've got like little shorter necklaces and stuff hanging along the top and in like this nice choker. And then on the bottom I've got a few of my longer necklaces. A lot of the longer ones are still on the one I have in the bedroom that I made first, but there's some of those there. And I used this little like twig that's poking up here to put a whole bunch of my little rings on, so that's handy. And then up here I've got some more rings just on this, as well as a bracelet that my dad got me for Christmas. And I've got like a little pair of earrings, oh goodness, hanging on this little branch. I don't know if I could use that one because it's kind of down pointed, but yeah. And I've also like, you know, you can use the ends of branches to drape things over as well. So like this is like a lacy collar thing that my mum made for me. And yeah, these things are just so ridiculously easy, but if you like a kind of forest witchy look, then they're great. And you can get so much stuff on them and just hang things from every little branch. So highly recommended. And that was it. I hope you liked this very, very quick little DIY. A lot of people asked if I would do a tutorial on this, and I thought, why not? So hopefully it helps some of you. If you do make some for yourself, feel free to post them on Instagram and tag me in it. Make sure you tag me in the photo and not just in the comment, otherwise I probably won't see it. But yeah, I would love to see your work. So enjoy, go out there, get yourself some spray paint and have some fun. And of course, if you want to go even more natural, you could skip the spray paint altogether and make this whole thing even cheaper and just use branches. It is entirely up to you. So there are just so many options, so many ways to customize this to make it more personal. And yeah. So as I say, I hope you enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment and subscribe to see more. If you do subscribe, or if you're already subscribed and you haven't turned on notifications, make sure you hit the little bell. That means you hopefully won't miss any of my videos when they come out. Also consider checking out my Patreon because that helps me out so much. I'm so grateful to everyone who supports me on there. You're the reason this channel is still going, so thank you. And that's about everything. I'll see you in the next video. Bye lovelies!